Fish production. Fish is the cheap source of animal protein for our food. Fish production includes the fine true fish as well as a shellfish such as prawn and mollusk. Here we can see that there is a lot of fishes which we are using for our food. Okay, and fish is the what? Okay, cheap source of animal protein. Okay, from the animal protein we can see that fish is the major source or a cheap source also. It can be said that it is a cheap source as a animal protein. Okay, so there are two ways of obtaining fish. One is from the natural resources, which is called capture fishing. Okay, so two types of way are there, which are first is what? Okay, natural resources, which we said as capturing fishing. The second way is by fish farming, which is called culture fishery. Okay, so there is a two ways. Okay, first is the capture fishing, second is what? Okay, culture fishery. Okay, capture fishing which are nature, quite nature. Okay, natural. And the second is what? Okay, fish farming, where the farming will be there for the fish. Okay, so two ways. First is capture fishing and second is culture fishery. The water sources of the fish can be either sea water or a fresh water. Okay, the sources of water which we are saying was which? Okay, there are two: sea water and second is the fresh water. Okay, from the sea water also we can get a fishes, as well as from the fresh water also we are getting a proper amount of fishes, such as in the river and pond. Okay, from river or a pond, okay, we are getting a sources of a fishing. Now fishing can thus be done both by capture and culture of fish in marine and freshwater ecosystem. Okay, so from this we can say that there is a two ways of catching fish and getting for the food purpose as well as many other. Okay, and these two are which? Okay, capturing and culture of a fish. Okay, the first is what? Okay, capturing fishes, and second is what? Okay, farming that fishes. Okay, so two, capture as well as culture of a fish. Okay, these two are the way through which we are getting a fishes. Marine fishery. Okay, the first is what? Okay, first is marine fishery. India's marine fishery resources include 7500 kilometer. Okay, 7,500 kilometer of a coastline and deep seas. Okay, so here you can see that marine fishery resources includes how many? Okay, 7,500 kilometer of a coastline and the deep seas beyond it. Popular marine fish varieties includes pomfret, mackerel, tuna, sardines, and Bombay duck. Okay, all these are the sources of a marine fish. Okay, so here you can see this that different type of fishes are there. Marine fish are caught using many kind of fishing nets from fishing boat. Okay, so marine fish can be catch by which way? Okay, fishing net, by using fishing net and fishing boats. Yield are increased by locating large schools of fish in the open sea using a satellite and echo sounder. Okay, so this can be seen that many fish can be caught by using which? Okay, by two techniques: satellite and echo sounder technique. Okay, through which they are catching a fish. Now, some marine fish of a high economic value are also found in seawater. Okay, so high economic value containing fishes are also farmed in the seawater. Okay, so farming will be there for the sea water, in the sea water, for different fishes, and this includes fine fishes like murids, petke, beer spot, shellfish such as prawns, mussels, and oysters, as well as seaweeds. Oysters are also cultured or cultivated from the piers they make. Okay, so these are the different sources of a fishes. Here you can see that freshwater and marine prawn. Okay, both the fishes you can see it. As marine fish stocks get further depleted. Okay, so here you can see that two different fishes are freshwater fish as well as marine. Okay, so here you can see that different fishes are shown. As marine fish stocks get further depleted, the demand for the more fish can only be met by such culture fishery, a practice called mariculture. Okay, which we say it as what? The mariculture. Okay, so here you can see that it can be improved by which? Okay, it can be improved by the mariculture. Okay, so this way what will be there? Okay, such a culture fishery. Okay, and the process is said to be what, or a practice is said to be a mariculture. Okay, so inland fisheries. Okay, now the second is freshwater resources, includes canals, ponds, reservoir, and river. Okay, freshwater resources, as you can see, these are the resources. Okay, these are the resources. Break brackish water resources, where seawater and fresh water mix together. Okay, where seawater and fresh water get mixed with each other, such as estuaries and lagoons are also important fish reservoirs. Okay, so these two are the also important fish reservoirs, from where they are getting proper amount and the mixing should be there. Okay, once again I am repeating, brackish water resources means what? Okay, where two seawater and fresh water get mixed with each other, and such water are said to be what? Okay, brackish water resources, or resources are said to be brackish water resources. While a capture fishing is also done in such inland water bodies, the yield is not high. Okay, yield which we are getting, they are not high. Most fish production from these resources is through aquaculture. Okay, so here you can see that most of them are by which way? Okay, by the aquaculture. Fish culture is sometimes done in combination with the rich crop, so that fish are grown in the water in the paddy field. Okay, so this way, which way? Okay, fish culture is sometimes done. Okay, fish culture is sometimes done in the combination with a rice crop, so that fish are grown in the water in the paddy field. Okay, so they are combined with whom? Okay, rice crop, so they can easily combine with whom? Okay, and fish can be grown in the water in the paddy field. Okay, so it can be easily done, that you can see that two farming should be there. Okay, two farming can easily done. Okay, so this way both the yield should be taken. Okay, from the agriculture as well as from the crop. Okay, so more intensive fish farming can be done in composite fish culture system. Both local and imported fish species are used in such system. In such system, you can see that two different which two? Okay, imported fish as well as local fish species can be seen. Easily done. So imported fish as well as local fish species, okay, are used in such system. In such system, you can see that two types of fishes can be used. In such system, combination of a 5 or 6 fish species is used in a single fish pond. Okay, in a single fish pond, you can see that 5 to 6 fishes are combined with each other in a single fish pond. Okay, and these species are selected so that they do not compete for food among them, having a different types of food habits. As a result, the food available in all the parts of a pond is used. Okay, so here you can see that what, okay, different species of a or a 2, 5 or 6 different type of species are combined in a single fish pond, and due to which you can see that what, okay, species are selected so that they do not compete for the food among them, having a different type of food habitat. Why? Okay, all the 5 or 6 different type of species will need different food sources, and if we are giving that food to them, okay, they do not compete with each other for food. Okay, they do not compete with each other for the food, and due to which all of them will get its necessity food and its amount of food. Okay, because all the 5 or the 6 species have its different food, and we have spread a different food, and due to which all of them will need different food, and due to which, okay, the food available in all the part of a pond is used, and whatever amount of food which we are spreading, all the part of a food will be consumed or used. Okay, as ketlas are surface feeder, rohus feed in the middle zone of a pond. Mrigals and common carps are bottom feeder, and grass carps feed on the weeds. Together, these species, okay, can use all the food in the pond without competing with each other. Okay, so here you can see that feeds which we are seeing middle zone of a pond. Okay, and ketlas, okay, which is feeding at what, okay, surface feeder. Rose, which is feeding in a middle zone. Mrigal and common carps, which are feeding in the bottom feeder, and grass carps, which are feed on what, okay, weeds. And together these species, okay, if we are combining all these species or together in a single pond, then what will be said, can use all the food in the pond without competing with each other, and can easily use all the food without competing with each other, and this increase the fish yield from the pond. Okay, so this way you can see that yield will be increased, okay, from the pond. Okay, so here in this you can see that 5 or 6 species are together, okay, combined in a single fish pond, due to which all these things will be seen here. These are the some of the fishes which will be taken in a single pond. Okay, one problem with such composite fish culture is that many of these fish breed only during monsoon. Okay, during monsoon only they are feeding. Even if fish seeds is collected from the wild, it can mix with that of other species as well. Okay, so a major problem in the fish farming is lack of availability of good quality seeds. Okay, so if we are what okay, if we are preparing a fish farming, there is only one disadvantage is that what okay, lack of availability of a good quality seeds. Okay, seeds which we are having, okay, they are not a sufficient amount of good quality, okay, due to which okay, there is a lack of good availability or a good quality seeds. Nutrition which we which what the okay, fish will get, there will be malnutritious food, okay, that will not sufficient amount of nutrition, and due to which seed will or a fish will not get proper amount of nutrition, and this is the one of the disadvantages. To overcome this problem, ways have now been worked out to breed these fish in the pond using hormonal stimulation, and this has ensured the supply of a pure fish seed in desired quantities. Okay, so this can be overcome by whom? Hormonal stimulation, and this supply of pure fish seed in the desired quantities, due to which you can say the desired quantity of pure fish can be sent. Okay, so this is the sum of the properties as well as advantages and disadvantages of a fishes. Okay, so in this you can see that a farming should be created for the fish, and which we say it as a cultivating farming, okay, cultural farming, and the proper amount of thing which we are saying, okay, fish farming is one of the what okay, major sources, okay, and farming of fish. Honey is widely used in, therefore beekeeping for making honey has become an agriculture enterprise. Since beekeeping need a low investment, farmers use it as an additional income generating activity. In addition to honey, the beehives are source of wax which is used in the various medicinal preparation. Okay, so in the bee keeping you can see that what okay, honey which we are using, which is a one of the widely used, and it is a major source for whom okay, for the major income need a low investment is low, and as well as income is much more. Okay, so in this you can see that two sources can be seen, okay, and the income okay, or a output, or which we say it as a yield or a product, are of two. One is of a wax, okay, which is from the beehives, and the honey which is widely used. Okay, so these two are prepared, and which we are knowing that wax which is the medicinal preparation, okay, for medicinal preparation wax is the major source. Okay, so these two can easily get from the beekeeping. The local variety of bee used for the commercial honey production are Apis sirena indica, commonly known as Indian bee, okay, Dorchata, the rock bee, and Flora, the little bee, and the Italian bee variety, okay, Marifera, has also been brought in the increased yield of a honey. Okay, for increasing yield of honey, all these bees are very useful, and this is the variety. This is the variety commonly used for commercial honey production. For commercial honey production, these are the one of the variety. here you can see that arrangement of a beehive in the apiary and the honey extraction. Okay, both you can see easily. The Italian bees have a high honey collection capacity. They sting somewhat less. They stay in the given beehives for the long period. Okay, in the given beehives you can see that they will stay for the long period. Okay, and breed very well. Okay, they can easily breed. For commercially honey production, bee farms or apiaries are established. Okay, so here you can see that farm is produced. Okay, and the value or a quality of a honey depends upon the pasturage or the flower available to the bees for nectar and pollen collection. Okay, for nectar and pollen collection they will need what? Okay, proper amount of flower and pasturage. In addition to adequate quantity of pasturage, the kind of flower available will determine the taste of a honey. Okay, whichever amount of flower will be available, okay, that will decide what okay quality of a honey or a taste of a honey. Okay.
What do we know about the practice of beekeeping? Do you know this is a business in itself? Beekeeping farms are very common now. The earliest humans would have procured honey directly from the natural beehives. Well, this is far from safe. Imagine a swarm of bees stinging all at once if there's even a slight error on our part. Beekeeping nowadays is done in a structured manner. Small wooden craters are specially designed to create an artificial home for the bees. This is an extremely low investment business and is surely profitable. It serves as an additional income to all farmers. Do you know that these beehives can also be a source of wax? Yes, they are. Local varieties of bees are usually used to produce honey for commercial gain. Do you want to learn the scientific names of a few local varieties of bees? What do you think the Indian bee is called? It is known as the Apis cerana indica, while the rock bee is known as the Apis dorsata. The little bee and the Italian bee are known as the Apis florae and the Apis mellifera respectively. The Italian variety is commonly used for commercial honey production. Well, that's a lot to learn. But tell me one thing. What is the difference between the Italian variety of bees and the local varieties? The Italian variety possesses some good characteristics. Firstly, they produce more honey than the usual ones. Secondly, they sting less. And lastly, they stay in one beehive for a considerably long time. These are enough reasons to prefer them over the local varieties. Do you know a bee farm has a special name? Yes, it's called an apiary. The name comes from the genus name of the bees, Apis, as you must have just observed in their scientific names. What factors do you think bee farms depend on for the quality of their honey? Firstly, quality depends on the flowers that are available to the bees. Flowers are the source of nectar. Better the quality of flowers, better the quality of honey. Would you like to know a few amazing facts about bees? A bee has to travel to around 50 to 100 flowers during one collection trip. It is believed that a worker bee visits about 2 million flowers to make just 1 pound of honey. Well, now you know how many bees would have worked in order to provide us with 1 jar of honey. How much honey do you think an average worker bee makes in its lifetime? It would surprise you to know that one average worker bee makes just 1/12 of a teaspoon all its life. And bees work non-stop during the day to garner nectar.